We downloaded this data for 4 countries from the World Bank database. These countries include Nigeria, Ghana, Benin, and Togo. We are going to clean this data and arrange them in time series, cross-section, and final structure. To do this, we need to create a filter in order to separate the countries in a separate sheet to make them time series, and then match them in another sheet to make them panel. We click anywhere on the data, go to filter, then we filter the countries one by one. First of all, we select Benin. Click anywhere on the data, Ctrl A to highlight, Ctrl C to copy. Create another sheet. Right click, first option, transpose the data. We go back to our data sheet again. Ctrl Home to go back to home. Choose another country. Unselect Benin and choose Ghana. Click OK. Ctrl A to highlight, Ctrl C to copy. Create another sheet for Ghana. Right click, transpose the data. Do not forget to rename the sheet for each country. This is for Ghana. This is for Benin. Double click to start editing. We go back to the data tab again. Ctrl Home to go back to the first cell. We choose another country, Nigeria. Click OK. Ctrl A to highlight, Ctrl C to copy, create another sheet, right click, transpose the data, rename the sheet to Nigeria, go back to the data sheet, Ctrl Home, choose the last country which is Togo, OK, Ctrl A to highlight, Ctrl C to copy, create another sheet, right click, transpose, rename the sheet to Togo. We can see that we have 3 unwanted rows that we need to delete. We can delete them at once by holding Shift, clicking to select all. By doing this, we have selected all the 4 sheets. We can delete the unwanted rows at once. We can also rename the columns at once. This column to date, change the name of the variable to x1, x2, x3, and x4. We also need to notice that our date is not in a way compatible with our software. We need to change our date format. We can do that by writing the date column. We change the first date to 1960. Since the date starts from 1960, the second is 1961. We'll highlight the first 2. We come to this font on the right hand corner, double click to fill up the series. We now have our date series in a format that our software can read. In this case, we have 4 sheets containing time series for Togo, Nigeria, Ghana, and Benin. To create a cross-sectional data from this data set, we need to go to filter. We now filter by series. Let's choose one of these variables. We start by borrowed money percentage of GDP. Click OK. We add another sheet. Let's call it cross-section 1990. We go back to data. We only select the data of year 1990. Ctrl Shift down arrow to highlight. Ctrl C to copy. Go to cross-section 1990 sheet. We paste from the second row. We go back to data sheet. Ctrl Home to go back to home. We choose another series, carbon intensity of GDP. Click OK. Go back to 1990. Ctrl Shift down arrow to highlight. Ctrl C to copy. We go back to cross-section 1990 sheet. We paste in the second column. We go back to data sheet. Ctrl Home to go back to home. We choose another series, carbon intensity of GDP. We go to 1990 again. Ctrl Shift down arrow to highlight, Ctrl C to copy. We go back to cross-section 1990 sheet. We paste in the next column. We go back to data again. Ctrl Home to go back to home. We choose the last series, which is energy use. Click OK. We go to year 1990. Ctrl Shift down arrow to highlight, Ctrl C to copy. We go back to cross-section sheet. We paste in the last column. We now have 4 variables. We can now give names to the variables. Let's say Y1, Y2, Y3, and Y4. This data represents a cross-section of 4 variables for year 1990 across the countries of Togo, Nigeria, Ghana, and Benin. If you want a final data, we need to create another sheet and name it final. We copy the data from each country one by one. Let's start with Togo. Ctrl A to highlight, Ctrl C to copy. Go to panel and paste it. For panel data, we need a column for the country. In this case, we need to add another column. Let's say country. This data is for Togo. Then we need to give the name of the country Togo. We double click to drag down. We copy data for Nigeria. Control A to highlight, Control C to copy. We go to panel. Control down arrow to go to the last row. Control V to paste. But we need to delete the header row for Nigeria. That is date and the names of the variables. We write Nigeria. Double click to peel down. We then copy the data from Ghana. We should start from here. Control Shift left arrow, then down arrow to copy the range we need. Control C to copy. We go to the panel sheet. Control down arrow to go down. We paste again. Then we fill out the missing country, which is Ghana. Double click to fill down. We then copy the last country, which is Benin. Also put our cursor here. Control Shift right arrow, then down arrow. Control C to copy. We go back to our panel sheet. Control down arrow, control left arrow, then first we need to enter the name of the missing country, which is Benin. Double click to copy down. We now have a panel data compatible with our analysis. We may decide to cut this column and move it close to the date. Right click, then insert cut cells. We now have our data arranged in panel structure for Togo, Nigeria, Ghana, and Benin. In our next video, we will see how to clean the data set we downloaded from the International Monetary Fund. Please subscribe to Smarty Academy to stay updated. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening. We welcome any comments that can improve the services of Smarty Academy. Remember that together we can do anything. If you enjoyed this video and want more videos like this, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn the notification on